What if the most dangerous part of your day was the moment you got out of bed? Not the icy sidewalk, not the slippery shower, but those quiet first seconds when your eyes open and your feet hit the floor. It's a moment we repeat every single day without thinking. And yet for millions of people over 60, it's also the moment when everything can go wrong. A sudden fall, a dizzy spell, a fainting episode that leads to weeks, sometimes months, of recovery. And the scary part? It doesn't come with a warning. Today we're going to uncover the 5 morning habits that seem harmless, but may be silently damaging your health, draining your strength, and putting your independence at risk. And more importantly, I'll show you how small, mindful changes rooted in both science and ancient wisdom can help you reclaim energy, balance, and peace of mind with just a few minutes each morning. So before you start your next day on autopilot, take a few minutes to stay with me, because what you're about to learn could make all the difference between aging with worry and aging with strength. Here's something many people don't realize. The way you spend the first few minutes of your day can quietly shape your future health. Every morning, millions of older adults wake up and step into routines that feel completely normal, maybe even comforting. But behind these familiar habits, there may be silent risks hiding in plain sight. Tiny actions like jumping out of bed too quickly, skipping water, drinking coffee on an empty stomach, or ignoring a little stiffness in your joints. They seem harmless, but over time they can weaken your circulation, strain your heart, disrupt your balance, and chip away at the strength you've built over a lifetime. And the most dangerous part? Most people don't notice the damage until it's too late. A fall, a fainting spell, a sudden drop in blood pressure or energy that leaves you feeling fragile and confused. These aren't random events. They're the result of years of unconscious habits that quietly wear down the body's natural defenses, especially after age 60, when our systems become more sensitive and less forgiving. But here's the good news. Once you understand these risks, you can begin to change them one simple step at a time. That's why in this video I'm going to walk you through the 5 most common mistakes seniors make in the morning. Not to scare you, but to empower you. Because even small adjustments in your morning routine can unlock more energy, more balance, and more peace of mind starting today. So stay with me. What you're about to learn could protect not only your health, but also your independence, your confidence, and your joy in everyday life. Now I know this might feel like a lot to take in, but here's the good news. This video isn't about fear. It's about awareness. It's about empowerment. Because once you understand what's happening inside your body and how small daily habits affect it, you gain the power to change the outcome. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the 5 biggest morning mistakes that many seniors make without even realizing it. Mistakes that may be quietly draining your strength, disturbing your balance, and increasing the risk of falls or health scares. But more importantly, I'll show you simple, practical changes you can make starting tomorrow morning that can help you feel stronger, steadier, and more energized as you age. You won't need expensive equipment, special diets, or complicated routines. Just small, mindful steps rooted in both modern science and timeless wisdom. And I promise when you apply them, you'll notice the difference. So stay with me, because what you'll discover today may just become the most important part of your morning and the key to protecting your freedom for years to come. Let's begin with the first and most common mistake, one that happens within seconds of waking up: getting up too quickly. Now, this may seem like a harmless action. You open your eyes, maybe stretch a little, and without thinking, swing your legs over the side of the bed and stand up. It feels automatic, like second nature. But here's what most people don't realize. Especially after the age of 60, this simple habit can be dangerous. You see, when you sleep, your body enters a state of deep rest. For hours, your muscles are relaxed, your blood pressure drops, and your circulation slows down. Everything moves at a gentler pace. Then suddenly, you stand, and your body is forced to go from 0 to 60 in a matter of seconds. This sudden shift can trigger something called orthostatic hypotension, a rapid drop in blood pressure that happens when you change position too quickly. The result? Dizziness, blurred vision, weakness in your legs, even fainting. Many seniors fall right in their own bedrooms, not because they're clumsy or careless, but because they didn't give their body a moment to adjust. And sadly, these falls often lead to serious injuries, hip fractures, broken bones, hospital stays, and months of painful recovery. But it doesn't have to be this way. In many Eastern traditions, including Buddhist monastic life, waking up is treated as a sacred ritual, not something to rush through, but a moment of quiet transition. Monks teach that the body must be called back to awareness slowly, with care. It's a time to reconnect with your breath, to stretch gently, to move gradually from rest to action. And modern science supports this wisdom. Studies show that easing into movement upon waking significantly reduces the risk of morning falls and cardiovascular events. So how do you put this into practice? Here's what you can do step by step. When you first open your eyes, don't jump up. Take a few deep breaths. Let your mind settle into your body. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Rotate your ankles and wrists to get the blood flowing. Next, roll slowly onto your side. Don't sit up straight away. Then, using your arms for support, ease yourself into a seated position on the edge of the bed. Let your feet touch the floor, and pause there for about 20 to 30 seconds. During this time, you can lightly move your shoulders, take a few more deep breaths, and feel your body waking up from the inside out. Only when you feel balanced and steady, stand up slowly, and take your first few steps with intention and awareness. This entire ritual takes less than 2 minutes, but the impact it can have on your life is immeasurable. It's the difference between starting the day with strength or risking a silent fall that could change everything. So please don't underestimate this small change. If you or someone you love has ever felt lightheaded in the morning, or had a scare getting out of bed too fast, this simple practice could be your shield. And the beauty is, it costs nothing. No pills, no devices, just respect for your body and the time it needs to transition from rest to movement. Because the way you get up in the morning is the way you carry yourself through the day. And when you rise with care, you rise with strength. Now let's move to mistake #2, a habit so common, so overlooked, that most people don't even think of it as a problem. Not drinking water upon waking. It sounds simple, right? But skipping hydration in the morning is one of the most dangerous mistakes you can make, especially as you age. Here's why. While you sleep, your body is hard at work behind the scenes. Your heart keeps beating. Your lungs continue breathing. Your cells are busy repairing and restoring. And all of this silent activity consumes one very important resource: water. By the time you wake up, even if you don't feel it, your body is already in a state of mild dehydration. Your blood is thicker. Your circulation is slower. Your organs are more strained. And yet, what do most people do first thing in the morning? They skip water and head straight for coffee. They take medications without fluids, or they go hours without drinking anything at all. And that's where the danger begins. Because as we get older, something changes. Our natural sense of thirst weakens. You may not feel thirsty, but that doesn't mean your body doesn't need hydration. In fact, many seniors are walking around every morning dehydrated without realizing it. This dehydration quietly raises your blood pressure, reduces oxygen flow to the brain, strains your heart, and can even trigger dizziness or falls, often in the first hour of the day. Let me tell you a story. Mrs. Mary is 76 years old. For most of her life, she considered herself healthy. She walked every day, kept her house spotless, and was always on the go. But one morning, she fainted right there in her kitchen. She hadn't skipped meals. She hadn't overexerted herself. She just got up, felt a little off, and then everything went black. At the hospital, the diagnosis surprised her. Mild dehydration. That was it. No disease, no heart condition, just a lack of water in her system after waking up. After that, she made one small change. She kept a glass of water on her bedside table and drank it before she even stood up. And within a few weeks, her dizziness disappeared. Her headaches stopped. Her mornings became clearer and calmer. It was that simple. And this isn't just anecdotal. Modern research confirms that hydrating upon waking improves blood circulation, stabilizes blood pressure, enhances mental clarity, and supports digestion. But long before science proved it, ancient Buddhist wisdom already understood the power of water. Among monks, there's a saying, "Before the body acts, it must be honored with what sustains it." Water is seen as the first nourishment of the day, not just for the body, but for the spirit. It is the liquid life force that wakes up your cells, reactivates your energy, and prepares you for conscious movement. So, what should you do? Before anything else, before checking your phone, before turning on the TV, before even thinking about coffee, drink a glass of water. It doesn't have to be cold. In fact, lukewarm water is gentler on the system. And if you like, add a few drops of lemon to help stimulate digestion and gently wake up your organs. If a full glass feels like too much at first, start with a few sips. Build the habit slowly. Over time, your body will begin to crave it. And here's something important to remember. Thirst is a delayed SOS signal. By the time you feel thirsty, your body is already struggling. True protection happens before the warning signs appear. This one small change, drinking water right after waking, could be the silent shield that protects your circulation, your balance, and your energy for years to come. It costs nothing. It takes less than a minute. And it may be the most important gesture of self-care you make each day. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, reach for that glass of water. Let that first act be a message to your body. I honor you. I'm here to care for you. I choose strength today. Now let's talk about the third biggest mistake many people make in the morning, and it's one most of us never question because it feels so comforting, so familiar. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach. That first cup, the rich aroma, the warmth in your hands. For many, it's more than just a beverage, it's a ritual. It's the signal that the day has begun. But here's the truth. Drinking coffee before eating anything can quietly harm your health, especially as you get older. You see, when you wake up, your body is in a delicate state. You've been fasting for 7 to 10 hours. Your blood sugar is low, your stomach is empty, and your digestive system is calm, almost in sleep mode. Now imagine pouring a cup of strong, acidic coffee into that environment. What happens? Your stomach responds by producing gastric acid, a normal response meant to digest food. But here's the problem. There's no food there. So that acid begins to irritate the lining of your stomach. Over time, this irritation can cause gastritis, acid reflux, bloating, and even ulcers. And the worst part? These issues build up slowly. You may not notice them at first. A little heartburn here, some discomfort there. Maybe you start needing antacids more often or feel jittery after just one cup. Now let me share a story with you. Mr. John, 75 years old, followed the same routine for over 40 years. He woke up, brewed his coffee, and drank it before water, before food, before anything else. He believed it gave him energy. But as the years passed, he started noticing changes. Stomach pain, burning in the chest, sleepless nights due to acid rising in his throat. Doctors gave him pills, but nothing worked. Until one day, he changed just one simple thing. He ate something before drinking his coffee. A banana, a handful of almonds, sometimes just a slice of toast. And within a few weeks, the symptoms that had followed him for years disappeared. That's the power of timing. And this isn't just modern health advice, it's a principle rooted in ancient wisdom. Among Buddhist monks, there's a gentle rule. Before you stimulate the body, you must first nourish it. Even in deep spiritual practice, monks begin their day with something light, a few bites of food, warm water, before taking in anything that activates the nervous system. Why? Because they respect the body's rhythm. They understand that true strength comes from balance. So what can you do? It's simple. Tomorrow morning before you drink your coffee, eat something small. Here are a few ideas. A ripe banana, a slice of whole grain toast, a spoonful of plain yogurt, a handful of nuts, or even a soft-boiled egg. Just a little nourishment is enough to protect your stomach and support your energy. And before that, drink water. Your body is dehydrated when you wake up. Coffee doesn't fix that, it actually worsens it. So the golden routine is this: water first, a light bite, then coffee. This small shift can reduce acid, improve digestion, and keep your energy steady without the discomfort. Because the goal isn't to give up what you love, it's to enjoy it wisely in a way that honors your body. Remember, coffee is not the enemy, but when you drink it matters. So tomorrow morning, pause for a moment and ask yourself, have I supported my body first? If the answer is yes, then enjoy your coffee. Savor it. Let it be a reward, not a stress to your system. Because the way you start your morning sets the tone for your entire day and for your long-term health. Let's move on to mistake #4, a habit that many people dismiss as just getting older, ignoring morning stiffness. Now tell me if this sounds familiar. You wake up, open your eyes, and as you try to sit up or take those first few steps, your legs feel heavy, your back feels tight, your shoulders a bit stiff. Maybe your neck doesn't want to turn fully just yet. So what do? You push through. You tell yourself it's nothing. You stand up fast, stretch a little, maybe walk it off and continue with your day. But here's the truth. That morning, stiffness isn't just a normal nuisance. It's your body sending a message, a quiet, gentle warning that it needs a little more time and a little more care. As we age, our muscles lose elasticity. Our joints become less lubricated. And during sleep, when we're lying still for hours, circulation slows, and the fluid that cushions our joints, called synovial fluid, settles. So when we first wake up, the body feels stuck. That tightness, that resistance, it's not weakness. It's a natural part of aging. But when we ignore it, we put ourselves at risk. Because trying to move too quickly while your body is still waking up can lead to muscle strains, small tears, joint pain, and most dangerously, falls. Let me tell you the story of Mrs. Margaret, 79 years old. She's a strong, independent woman who took pride in her routine. Up early, chores done before breakfast, always on the move. But one morning, she woke up feeling a bit more stiff than usual. Still, she jumped out of bed and headed toward the bathroom, like she always did. Halfway across the room, her knee locked up. She lost her balance and fell sideways, hitting her hip on the edge of the bed. Thankfully, she didn't break anything, but she was sore and shaken for weeks. She lost confidence. She became hesitant to move without support, all because she ignored the stiffness that was trying to protect her. This isn't just a physical issue, it affects your freedom, your confidence, your ability to live life on your terms. So how do you prevent it? With presence, with patience, and with preparation. Here's a simple ritual you can do every morning, before even getting out of bed. Start by wiggling your fingers and toes. This gets blood flowing to your extremities. Rotate your ankles and wrists slowly. These are areas that often stiffen during the night. Stretch your arms gently overhead while taking a deep breath. Bend your knees slowly and move them from side to side if you can. This lubricates your hip and lower back joints. Sit up slowly and let your feet touch the floor. Stay seated for a few moments. While sitting, roll your shoulders back and gently turn your neck side to side. This entire routine takes just 2 to 3 minutes. But it prepares your body to move safely and confidently. And in Buddhist monastic traditions, this practice is known as conscious awakening. It's the belief that your body and mind need time to transition from the stillness of sleep to the action of the day. Moving too quickly is seen as disrespecting the natural rhythm of life. When you begin your day with gentle awareness, you protect not just your body but also your mental clarity and emotional stability. Because when your body feels grounded, your mind follows. So tomorrow morning, don't rush past the stiffness. Don't ignore it. Listen to it. Respect it. And in return, your body will thank you with balance, strength, and the confidence to move freely through your day. Now we've come to mistake #5, and it may be the most overlooked, yet most dangerous one of all. Poor posture upon waking. It might seem small, something harmless, but the way you carry your body in the first few minutes of the day sets the tone for everything that follows: your balance, your breathing, your energy, and even your mood. And sadly, many people get out of bed each morning already hunched over, shoulders slumped, head down, torso collapsed, eyes looking toward the floor. It's a posture that doesn't just reflect tiredness, it creates it. This way of moving compresses the chest and lungs, restricts oxygen flow, and throws off the body's natural center of gravity. It might not seem like a big deal at first, but over time, it silently drains your strength, weakens your balance, and increases your risk of falls, breathing difficulties, and even digestive issues. Let me paint you a picture. Mrs. Helen, 81 years old, had always been active. She loved going for walks, reading on her porch, and spending time with her grandkids. But without realizing it, she began each morning slightly hunched. Just a little at first, shoulders rolled forward, chin down. She told herself it was just stiffness, just age. But slowly, her confidence began to shrink along with her posture. She started feeling dizzy when standing. Then came a minor fall, and later, a more serious one that left her unable to walk unaided for months. What seemed like a harmless habit had slowly robbed her of her mobility, her freedom, and her sense of safety. Because here's the truth: posture is more than physical. It's a reflection of your internal strength, and it plays a crucial role in your health, especially as you age. When you slouch forward, your rib cage collapses, reducing oxygen intake. Your organs compress, making digestion sluggish. Your spine weakens, putting pressure on joints. Your balance shifts, making you more prone to falling. But that's not all. Studies have shown that poor posture affects your brain too. It can influence your mood, increase feelings of sadness or anxiety, and even impair memory and focus. So while it may seem like just the way you walk, poor posture can slowly pull your body and your spirit downward. But there's good news. You can fix it, gently, daily, with awareness. In the wisdom of Buddhist monks, posture is considered the physical expression of vital energy. It reflects your alignment not just of the spine, but of your mind and spirit. They believe that standing tall is a way of saying yes to life. So how can you do that when you wake up? Here's a simple posture ritual you can practice each morning. After you've sat up and your feet touch the floor, pause. Stretch your spine upward, as if you're trying to grow an inch taller. Roll your shoulders back, opening your chest. Lift your chin until it's parallel to the floor, gaze forward, not down. Take a deep breath, feeling your lungs expand with ease. When you stand, move slowly and consciously, keeping your spine aligned and your steps steady. This takes less than a minute, but the effect? It lasts all day. You'll breathe better, you'll walk steadier, you'll feel more confident and clear-headed. And over time, this simple act of standing tall can reduce your risk of falls, improve your digestion, boost your mood, and preserve your independence. Because when you rise with strength and dignity, your whole day follows that same energy. So tomorrow morning, remember, don't just get up, rise, with awareness, with presence, with care. Your posture is not just about how you look, it's about how you live. Let's take a moment to pause. You've just learned 5 of the most common and most dangerous morning mistakes many people make after age 60. And none of them seem dramatic. None of them feel urgent. They're just small things. Getting up too fast, skipping water, coffee before food, ignoring stiffness, walking with poor posture. But here's something we all need to understand. It's never the big events that shape our health. It's the small, repeated habits we do day after day, year after year. And that's what makes these morning mistakes so dangerous, because they don't cause pain immediately. They don't knock loudly at your door. They whisper. A little dizziness here, a sore joint there, a sense of tiredness that creeps in earlier each day, a loss of confidence in your balance, your energy, your strength. These whispers get louder over time until one day they become a fall, a hospitalization, a health scare that seems to come out of nowhere. But it wasn't sudden. It was built silently, over years of ignoring the body's early signals. And that's the trap. Because when we repeat a habit for a long time without a negative outcome, our mind assumes it must be safe. I've always done it this way and I'm fine. That thought feels comforting, but it's misleading. The human body is like a bridge. It may look strong on the surface, but even the strongest bridge can collapse if tiny cracks are left unchecked for too long. And the cracks caused by poor habits? They're invisible until they're not. This is why the long-term impact of small habits matters more than we think. In many Eastern traditions, including among Buddhist monks, there is a powerful teaching. What you do today silently builds or destroys your tomorrow. Think about that. Every sip of water in the morning, every stretch, every conscious breath, every step taken with awareness. They are small, quiet acts, but they're also powerful seeds. Seeds of strength, seeds of clarity, seeds of independence. And like any seed, the results aren't seen immediately. But in time, they shape your body, your mind, and your future. So if you've been making these morning mistakes, don't feel discouraged. Don't blame yourself. You're not alone. You were doing what you thought was normal, what so many others do. But now, you know more. And awareness is the beginning of transformation. Your body has an incredible ability to heal, to adapt, to renew itself if you give it the right support. That's the beauty of it. You don't need drastic changes. You don't need perfection. You just need to begin with small, consistent, loving steps. And the earlier you begin, the more freedom you preserve for the future. Because every time you pause to stretch, every time you rise slowly instead of rushing, every time you nourish your body before stimulating it, you're making a quiet investment in your strength. You're protecting your independence, your ability to move with grace, your ability to live on your own terms. So ask yourself now, what kind of future do I want to build from this day forward? Because it doesn't matter if you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond. As long as there is life in you, there is power in you. And that power lives in your choices. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, remember, the small things matter, your habits matter, you matter. Choose presence, choose protection. Choose the future you deserve, one peaceful, powerful morning at a time. In today's fast-moving world, it's easy to believe that big results require big actions, that if we're not making sweeping changes, we're not doing enough. But the truth, especially as we age, is much more gentle and profound. The smallest habits often carry the greatest power. What we do in the quiet moments, how we wake, how we breathe, how we treat our bodies in the first 5 minutes of the day, sets the tone for everything that follows. In our younger years, we could bounce back from mistakes without much consequence. But as the decades pass, our bodies ask for more care, more respect, and more intention. The things we once brushed off, a skipped glass of water, standing too fast, a missed stretch, can, over time, become the very things that compromise our balance, our strength, even our independence. That's the quiet truth so many discover only after a fall, a fainting spell, or a sudden health scare. But here's the beauty of this message. We don't have to wait for something to go wrong to start doing things right. Even the most ingrained habits can be reshaped. Each morning becomes a fresh chance to choose differently, to rise with presence, to move with care, to nourish ourselves before the world rushes in. These aren't just health tips. They are small acts of self-respect. They remind us that aging doesn't have to be about decline. It can be about deepening wisdom, about moving slower, but with more grace, about making peace with our pace and honoring our bodies not because they are perfect, but because they've carried us through a lifetime. In this way, every gentle movement, every mindful breath becomes a quiet investment in a life of freedom, dignity, and vitality for today, and for the many mornings still to come. Jacinto Bonilla, a retired school teacher from Brooklyn, is a living example of how small, mindful habits can completely transform life even later in years. At 76, when most people slow down and surrender to the narrative of aging as inevitable decline, Jacinto made a different choice. After recovering from prostate cancer, he decided to regain his strength, not with extreme measures, but with simple daily routines. He started with light bodyweight movements, conscious breathing, stretching, and gradually built up to doing modified CrossFit workouts tailored for his age and body. Today, in his 80s, Jacinto moves with energy and grace, trains with people decades younger, and speaks openly about how his vitality comes not from pushing harder, but from treating his body with respect every single morning. His story isn't about fitness, it's about awareness, about showing up each day no matter how small the effort and choosing care over neglect, presence over autopilot. What Jacinto teaches us is that aging isn't a sentence, it's a path. And that path is shaped by the choices we make when no one is watching. Whether we pause before standing up, drink that first glass of water, stretch our limbs, or simply sit with good posture, these aren't grand gestures, but they ripple across time. Jacinto didn't reclaim his health overnight. He built it slowly, silently, through small, daily acts of self-respect, just like we can. In a culture that glorifies youth and rushes through life, his quiet discipline reminds us that aging can be powerful, vibrant, and deeply fulfilling when we walk it with intention. His life is proof that the body responds to care at any age, and that the future is not written by years, but by habits. One gentle morning at a time. If you've made it this far, then you've already done something powerful, something most people never do. You've paused, you've listened, you've chosen awareness, and that right there is the beginning of real transformation. You see, most people go through life on autopilot. They wake up, repeat the same habits, and don't stop to ask whether those habits are helping or hurting them, but not you. Today, you made the brave choice to reflect, to question, to learn, and that's why this message is different. Because this video isn't just about avoiding falls. It's not just about stiffness, hydration, or posture. It's about something much deeper. It's about taking your power back, not with huge changes, but with small, intentional choices that respect the body you live in. Because the truth is, aging isn't what takes away our freedom. Neglect is. And the most dangerous habits aren't the dramatic ones. They're the ones we repeat quietly, unconsciously, year after year. But now, you see them. And more importantly, you know how to change them. That's the gift of awareness. It gives you back control. So here's what I want you to remember. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to change everything overnight. All you need to do is begin. Drink water before coffee. Stretch before you stand. Sit tall before you walk. Move gently before you rush. Breathe deeply before the day begins. Each one of these is a message to your body. I respect you. I'm here for you. I choose strength. And over time, those messages become habits. Those habits become health. And that health becomes freedom. The freedom to live with energy, confidence, and independence. So I ask you now, what kind of future do you want to build? What kind of mornings do you want to wake up to? How do you want to feel in your body, not just today, but 5, 10, even 20 years from now? Because the choices you make each morning are writing that story. And the beautiful part? It's never too late to start writing a new chapter. If this video spoke to your heart, if it helped you see your routine in a new way, please leave a comment below. I choose to take care of my health every day, starting with the small things. Let that be your affirmation. Let it be your commitment. And if you found this helpful, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you love. Because these simple truths, these quiet acts of care can change lives, starting with yours.